Welcome back to the Social Psycho Podcast, where we take a look at things affecting the Black community from a psychological and sociological point of view. I'm Boonie, and I'm here with Van. How are you doing today, Van? What's up? Did you
I
zoom in?
am good. Yeah, because it
How
kept
you do that?
moving. Like you do on the regular screen, just took my fingers and zoomed.
I forgot you on your phone.
Yeah, because this light back here keeps making it do weird stuff, so I just zoomed in on my face. But I'm okay. I am just here. I was doing my daughter's hair earlier, but she wanted a break, so that's what we're doing. Using this time wisely.
Right. Today we're just gonna have a conversation about friendship. My friendship. It's kind of like a progress report, I guess, because of the questions that I wrote. A progress report on our friendship. Because why not? Why not? Let's bring progress reports to every relationship. Because I think that it would help. Like it could be just me, but I do. But yeah, I
It's like a
decided
grade.
yeah, I decided that I wanted us to talk about our friend because I feel like our friendship is so, I'm not gonna say strange, unique, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word. I feel like it's
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you said I feel like and the word unique popped up, I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely different than anything I've actually ever had. So
same. Same. I've never connected with somebody the way that I connect with her. Somebody that I've never met in person. And I'm one of those people that if I've never met certain people, if I meet people on social media and I've never actually met them in person, it's hard for me to connect with them like that. But like with us, it was just no issues. There was no like obstacles or nothing like that that we had to go through the connection. We were in a group for a while, so I feel like we didn't get a lot of one on one at first, but once we started doing that, then the connection was just like that. But we're gonna jump right into the topics with the what's your theory segment with this question. How important is having a friendship in your adult life?
I can honestly say that's not something I actually ever thought about because I never, I've never, when I was younger, of course, I thought about having friends or when I didn't have friends and stuff like that. But actually, ever since I've been an adult, I've had a friend, thankfully. But
Right.
like I've been introduced to new friends, but I had like three, one, two, three, four, like four friends my senior year of high school that of course even to this day I don't have any problems with. I support them the best way I can. A lot of them have their own businesses and stuff, and
Right.
I haven't bought anything yet. Like I do plan to, but they do live in other cities and I don't travel to those cities like often at all.
Mhm.
But I do plan to support, but I do like share their posts or send people their way that I know are in the area, stuff like that. So I have like nothing against them. I don't like, although we're not friends, I don't
Yeah.
not call them my friend. But
Right.
once I got in college, the friends I met in college I still have to this day. So I never actually had, thankfully, I've had the privilege of never actually having to think about the importance
Yeah.
of making friends in my adulthood. But now that you've asked the question, I think it's important to get friends in your adulthood because of the way life is, the way life be lifing and won't
Right.
let up. But I do think it's important to have adult friends that you can actually vibe with because we all know friends that we had back then we can grow out of, or they can be
Yep.
go in completely different directions, or you find out something new about them. Like life be life, and so I think it's
Life
important to have it.
lives.
But I exactly, but I just haven't had to think about what I would do if I didn't
If you
have
didn't.
friends in my adult life. Like I've always said, I'm fine by myself, but in reality, I've never had to be, I've been by myself, like no friends and stuff in my adulthood as far as communication, but I've
Right.
never not had a friend in my adult life. So I really don't
Got
know.
you.
I know it's important, but I don't know.
Got you. For me, like you were saying, the same thing. I had this like group of girls that I grew up with. And I also had um just my classmates in general. Cause like I said, like I always say when we talk about school and stuff, with my class, most of us pretty much got along. I ain't gonna make it seem like it was perfect because it wasn't. There were still groups, there were still like little cliques and stuff like that. But for the most part, we got along. So I feel like if you ask a lot of them if we friends, they'll say yeah. But you can ask some of them if we're friends and they'll say no, they don't know me like that, and it's true. But it's the same for me. Like I had this like group, my BF4L group that I grew up with. I think we first met in third grade. One of the girls, which she ended up being my cousin by marriage, I met her when I was 5. Like she was like my first, well, to me, Jamie was my first best friend. But she don't remember that. She don't remember me when we was little. I do, but she don't. So I'll say Leisha was my first best friend. Her and another girl that I was in kindergarten with. Like on top of like where you when you were younger, wearing the same hairstyle, stuff like that. The little girl stuff. But yeah, I had a group of friends since third grade. We were friends. I think they started splitting us up in sixth grade. Like we were in the same class from third grade to sixth grade, and they started splitting us up. So I feel like after we got split up, we I ain't gonna say we stopped being friends, but like it wasn't as close. We weren't as close as we were to each other. And also, I didn't used to hang out with my friends outside of school. Like I've gone to some of their houses at least once. But there are some of them that I was really close with, who house I've never been to, and they've never been to my house. Like, but we were friends. Like, some of them are also related to me. But with me, you gotta choose if you want to be my friend or my cousin. You can't do both. Like, I always tell them that you can't do both. But yeah,
Why
but
not both?
you can't. You gotta choose one. You can't do both of them.
Oh, that's messed up. I definitely have seen like some of my cousins as like my best friends, but we don't roll in the same like cliques anymore. Like I was always the blabbermouth because I would tell everything that they was doing when we was little, so they don't fuck with me like that no more. 'Cause, like,
Not
they
you
love me to
snitching.
death. They love the kids hanging out. We talk about family and crap like that. But when it comes like to the nitty gritty that's going on in their life, they ain't gonna tell me shit.
Not you, the snitch cousin.
I used to be like I'm not no more, but you can't come back from that. Like I've accepted that. I can't
Yeah.
come back from that. So I have no problem with it. Like I still love y'all. They still love me. We hang out when we hang out. But other than that, they like, yeah, we ain't telling you shit, man.
I feel like with my cousins, I see my cousins as my friends too, but to me it's still separate. But yeah, because I got a cousin that I got a couple of cousins that I see as like my good friends sometimes. When we like hanging together, because I'm one of those people that it's not that I lose love for people when I'm not spending time with them. Like I still love you, but when you're not around me, I forget about you sometimes because you're not in my space. Like you're not here. So sometimes I'll forget that you exist. Like not in a I don't know you type of way, but I just be forgetting. I do.
I'm so glad you said that.
It's kind of like a out of sight, out of mind type of thing. That's how I
It's
am.
got a name to it. I just can't remember it at the
Right.
moment. But it's definitely a name to it because I've seen it, I've heard it, and I was like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. I even saw a TikTok just yesterday of a guy saying that he set boundaries with his friends or standards with his friends, like it was rocky when they first started, but he had to let them know, hey, if you want to hang out with me or you want to be friends with me, you're going to have to communicate first. You're going to have to make the first move. You're going to have to put me in your schedule because I will forget. I
Yeah,
will forget that you exist. Not saying that you just never existed in my life, but it will be about
right.
3 months before you hear from me after you done messaged me like 4 or 5 times, and I was
Yeah, I
like,
be
yeah,
forgetting. I be trying like
yeah,
now because I used to be the one before. Okay, when I got to high school, I was still friends with my same friends or whatever. Like, and like Van said, I still see them as my friends. Like, I support them. If I see them, I'm gonna be happy. Like we gonna talk, whatever. There's no like bad blood or I don't know them no more. Like when I see them, I still have that love for them or whatever, and I'm always going to have that love for them. But after we got out of high school, um a lot, of course, we all went our separate ways or whatever, so we weren't close, we weren't talking. And also I went to a cosmetology school too for a little while, and I actually became best friends with some of my classmates that I never even really talked to in high school, which was cool. Like I made a few friends. I got closer to a few of my classmates, and also I have friends that I'm always gonna be friends with, people that I'm always gonna be friends with. But there was a period in my adult life where I wasn't friends with nobody. So I was in a toxic relationship. I only had my ex. So because I didn't really have friends, like I would have people be like, they'll hit me up every now and then. How you doing? Whatever. I'm gonna come when I come home, I'm gonna come chill with you or whatever. And it never would happen. And they kept doing it every single year. Like, and it was so annoying to me. But for a while I didn't talk to nobody until I actually met I was talking to Dina because even before that, she even created that group for us, me and her been friends. But until we got into the girls trip group, I wasn't friends with nobody basically. So now this is me meeting new people, meeting new friends, and then I actually got close with a lot of people in the group, or with everybody. But I don't know, I started to see that it was gonna be a situation where our group broke up. So I started trying to build, excuse me, relationships with everybody on the side. Like I started trying to build relationships with everybody on the side, so I would have my own personal relationships. I even made an announcement in the group. I was like this is cool, this is fun, but I'm gonna start talking to y'all on the side because I want to build my personal relationships with everybody, just in case something happened. And we ain't in this group no more or whatever. But out of everybody, me and Van became the closest because whenever I tried to build that relationship with her, she we basically both worked on it. Now some of the other girls I'm not as close with, but they still my friends. I'm still gonna love them. But we just ended up being the closest out of the group. And also I feel like because we were a lot alike, we're very different. It's funny. We're very different, but we're a lot alike at the same time. And we just had this connection that I've never had with anybody. And this is throughout my whole life. Like even as a kid, I've always been friends with people and I've loved them and cared about them, but I've never had the connection with them that I have with her. Um, and like I said, that's why I was saying it's unique because I feel like it's not just us being friends in the physical world. I feel like we have a spiritual connection as well that I've never had with anybody. That's with romantic relationships, that's with friends or whatever. We just have this spiritual relationship that we're still trying to figure out. We're still trying to navigate our spirituality to figure things out, but it's something that I think about a lot. Like I think about like, dang, did I know her in my past lives? Like were we friends in our past lives? And I definitely want to do a past life regression so we can figure that out. But
we
yeah, I
need
feel like
that.
definitely. But I feel like our friendship is unique. Um But like I said, for a period, I didn't have friends for a while. And I'm an introvert. I'm one of those people that I like to be alone as well. So on one end, it bothered me, but on one end, it didn't. I kind of got used to being alone early because I have an illness. So I kind of had to get used to being by myself. And then I started getting to a point where it was like, I like this alone thing. I don't really need anybody, and that's not good. So I started forcing myself to make friends with people who are going to pour into me just like I do to them. And I feel like for a person like me, it's hard finding people like that because I'm always the person that everybody comes to. So it's hard finding people that I feel comfortable to get poured into. That sounds kind of sexual. To somebody to add to me as well. That sounded very sexual.
It's
But
okay. You needed somebody to reciprocate the same things that
exactly.
you were putting out. That's all. You needed the same
Exactly.
energy.
Exactly. And Van definitely is one of those people I could talk to her about anything, even when I don't want to. Because there's sometimes when I just don't be wanting to talk about stuff, but I'll force myself to do it. And I feel like something just simple get on my nerves, and I'm like, I need I want to talk about this, and then I'll tell myself immediately, why would you talk to somebody about that? That's stupid. That's petty. And I feel like I've always been like that, so I don't open up to people about certain things. I try to figure it out myself because I think that the things that bother me sometimes is petty for me to go and talk to people about. But I am learning that there's nothing wrong with venting to people, even if it's about something that might be a little minor. It might not be something super serious, but you just want to express yourself. So I feel like with her, and also Royal, because I feel like Royal is somebody that I connected with recently as well, that I have a connection with that to me is unique, which is something that, we're dealing with right now. And I might do
Same.
an episode with him. I might do an episode with him and then the three of us, but he's another person and he's a guy. So that is special because I've never been able to connect with a guy like that at all, or like any of how our relationship is has never been something that I was able to do with guys because it was always something. But
He's like a breath of fresh air for men.
exactly, like that little hope that you got, he's that like little hope for men. But yeah, after I've said all of that, yes, having a friendship in my adult life is important to me because I do feel like we need people that understand us on levels that maybe your family or maybe your childhood friends don't understand you. Like people that go get to the nitty gritty, that's gonna get really penetrate your heart and really figure you out. And you need people like that to go through life because it makes life easier to go through, especially if you have like mental health issues, mental illnesses, behavior disorders, or even like how I do a genetic disability. It's hard making friends. So it's important to find people that get you, but at the same time you cannot expect them to you can't expect you can't expect them to not have a hard time. Like, it's difficult. You have to understand that you can be difficult. You can't expect somebody to always understand you or always know what to say, always know how to help you, because it can be difficult. But yeah, basically having friends in my adult life is very important to me, and I'm glad that I have two people that I feel like I have a unique relationship with. So we're gonna move on to the next segment, the Let's Fix It segment. We're gonna get a little messy with this question. What are some of your what are some of your icks about me first? What are the things that you don't like about me?
That you will close the fuck up. It's like you can kind of tell when you in your own. Hell, same with me. When you can tell that my energy done shifted, I
Yeah.
can tell that yours, and I try to just leave it as is. I'm like, I know mine has. I'm just let her do. But then when I come back, I don't know. When I come back, then I'll be expecting you to come back at the same time sometime, and then I'll be like, if she don't just go ahead
I think it's the
and
same
tell
way with
me,
me too.
if she don't just open her mouth and say what's going on, and then you do, and it's like, all right, we're all sunshine and rainbows again.
It do be taking me a while. It do. I'm difficult.
I think, and this isn't actually just with you. This is like people period. We just talked about this. Like when I say something about myself, and then you come back with like, "Don't say that about you," and I'm like, "Look, this is how I feel about me. I know you don't see it, but this is what I see." But then I turn around and do the same thing to you.
Exactly. I think it's a habit. It's a habit, I think. But it be genuine. It do. I feel like it be genuine.
I know, and honestly, like I know for other people that's probably not even like a ick or anything, but I because we are basically like one soul and two bodies, I really don't have like
Yeah,
anything negative. Like if there is anything that I don't like, we can disagree and still be just fine. Or we as long as we understand each other's points, it's like it's still everything still goes
right.
smoothly. But Lena,
Because I think with us, it's kind of like we accepted each other from the very beginning. So it's not like I'm trying to get you to change and you trying to get me to change. I think from the very beginning we accepted each other, and it's like I get how she thinks, and like you said, we it's like one soul, two bodies. So I understand, like I thoroughly understand uh how you feel about certain things and same. So it ain't really nothing to be mad about because I get it. It ain't nothing to like get on my nerve because I get it. But like you said, it's really hard to find icks, but it would be the same thing too, like not opening up and the thing that you said about when you say something about yourself, I hate when you say something about yourself. I want you to think that you perfect. Because to me you are. So
and we
I hate when
both
you
know
say
that is
certain
impossible.
things. Right. But that's how I be seeing it. I'm like, what is she talking about? Like she literally is perfect. Like, what are you saying? And you be saying stuff and it just be like going past me, going over my head.
I know it do because like anytime I tell Booney something about myself, like specifics, I end up having to like prove to her what I'm talking about. So like if I say something like about a specific part of my body and she's like, it's not, or I don't think this, I don't think that. And then I'll send her like pictures or videos, be like, so this is what I'm
And
talking
I
about.
still
So
be
you
like,
can see. And she still be like, yeah, no, I don't
I see what you're trying to say, but that ain't how I see it or whatever. And I think it's really just it's not necessarily that I don't understand what she mean, but it's just like, yeah, I get it, but it don't mean nothing. Like you still you to me. Like you still perfect to me. Even though you don't see yourself like that, that's how I feel. But I
For
get
y'all
it.
listening, Booney is like, like for y'all women, when you start having like a pudge in your stomach or something like that, or you got stretch marks and you're like feeling insecure about it, or you're like, damn, I really don't like this. I want to lose some weight, or I'm finna tone this up. And like you look at your man and you're like, look at this, and he's like, I love that shit. That's Booney. Like that's Booney. That's basically Booney. Booney is just like that. Like you could absolutely hate something about yourself and be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third to change it. And she gonna be like, I love that most about you.
Exactly. That's my
I could
favorite
be
thing about you.
extremely vulnerable. I can talk mad shit and she'll be like, I love you. Like and
It's
it's
actually
vice versa.
strange. It's actually so strange because that's really how it be. Like, especially because I was saying when you was pregnant with Lena and like you was talking about all the stuff you was going through, like I was literally in love with you. I was like, what is she talking
See,
about?
and y'all
Like, I
don't know,
love this
I
girl.
was miserable that pregnancy. I was miserable. I hated life itself. I hated everything
She
during that
did.
pregnancy.
She did.
Most of y'all who have been pregnant with girls, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. I hated everything. And yet she over here with like hearts in her eyes and shit.
Right. Like, I'm in love with you. Like, what are you saying?
I
I
think
don't
that's
get
kind
it.
of how we started too, because I think I really cannot remember specifics, but I think we started talking like after you had said you was gonna try to create your own relationships with us. Um, I think you had like a question or something as far as like the group, like what was going
Yeah,
on, and you asked me, and like we just went from there because me and Boona used to just go back and forth
we
in the group
did. We did.
about dumb shit. And it wasn't like
I,
no
I,
arguing. It was
I
just
think
us
we
going
actually
back and forth.
really, we was really like tested each other in those times.
It seems that way because Booney will say something I'm like, because although it seems like we are the same soul in different bodies, we have had completely opposite experiences in a lot of things. So
Yeah,
she would say one thing, and I'd be like, well, I think this because this is the experience I had. And she's like, I ain't never seen that. I ain't never had that before. And she'll
definitely.
say something, and I'm like, I have never in my life experienced it before. I don't know what you're talking about. That seems wild as fuck to me. Like we would have completely different experiences in life and still manage to come together and be like, all right,
Right.
I get it.
And sometimes same experiences, but different perspectives about them. Like I would see it one way, she would see it a different way, and then we would just go back and forth like that. But I really do attach to people that I am like that with. I don't like because all my life it's been you right. Like whenever I say something, you right. Like it is like that. Like you right. Like they'll have an opinion, but when I start talking, like I can literally convince you to change your mind. I don't like people like that. I don't like people that's just gonna agree.
Exactly. And that's exactly how we were. It would be like, all right, like especially when it came to like our personal experiences with men and women,
Men,
she would have
yes.
this experience. And I'm like, well, I don't always seen this over here, but I've seen, some women be like that, or I've seen some men be like that, but this is my experience and this is hers. And we're like, all right, so it exists.
Right,
Like
yeah. It
it exists.
exists. We just have different experiences. And
Exactly.
I do feel like we like through those things we learned a lot about each other, and not even just about each other but ourselves through being friends with each other. Like I think there's a side of me that you have exposed and vice versa. Like there's a side of you that I have, and it makes our friendship unique for that reason, because even though we didn't have the same experiences or we have different perspectives about the same experience or similar experiences that we've had, it's just like it makes us like each other more rather than less. Like I feel like some people when you don't agree with them or like when you have different views that than them, they kind of like distance themselves like we don't align. But I feel like when it's a friendship, it's you shouldn't be trying to align with each other. Like yeah but no, if you get what I'm saying. But just we got another episode to record, so let's move on to the let's fix it segment with this question. What are some of your favorite things about each other?
I absolutely love Booney's brain. I wish I could have like for somebody who is technically like disabled, she has so much going on. Like like for her, she's gonna say, hey, I'm like this for examples, I'm gonna work out 3 times a day for the next 4 weeks. She's gonna do it. I can say the exact same thing, and I guarantee you I ain't made it to day 3. She's gonna stick to whatever, like it'll be months and she'll be like, so I've been doing this, that, and third. And I'm like, damn, you said you was gonna do that like a long time ago, and you actually been doing it. If she has something that like she has an idea she's gonna go through with it. Even if it's gonna take a while, she's gonna go through with it. She's gonna find a way to make it happen. She has so many ideas. I just love her brain. I love the way it works. I love the way she looks at life. Even if we don't actually agree on a lot of
Right.
stuff, I still love the way she looks at life. I love the way she cares while simultaneously not giving a fuck. Like, because she'll care so much about something and then be like, but whatever, you know. It's like you
Courtesy
have to
of
be
my
that way at
mother.
this point, but I absolutely
Yeah.
love it. Like, I don't think there's anything I actually dislike about Boonie, and it's more so like I just love her very being. Like, I love her soul. Like,
Oh,
I can't just pick one thing. I just know I can definitely say I love her brain.
that's that's crazy. I know you're gonna be like, how? I love your brain as well. The way that you
I'm glad you know that.
it's simple. Like you just simplify things. Sometimes in a way that I can't a lot of the times, and I feel like it makes you able to relate to everybody. Even if you don't feel like you do, to me, I feel like for this how it is with us. Like I the way that I look at things, sometimes it just be a lot that I combine in like a little bubble, and like people be looking at me like, how you get there? And then you'll just come in and be like, oh, it's this, that, and that. It's just that simple. Like I love that. Like you just to me, like you get everything. You get it. You get everything. Even if you don't think so, or even if it's not at the moment. Like and you're so relatable, so real, so raw. Like it's a lot of people that's not like that. Like you be real and you have this awareness that I have never experienced somebody having. And I love that about you. Like even though our brains work differently, how you just able to understand me, because that's something that I struggle with throughout life. Like not a lot of people being really able to understand me, and me having to over explain myself and figure out how to get them to get it. And a lot of times still not getting nowhere, but like you just be getting it. And to me, that's special because to understand me, because I know I'm difficult. I know that I'm complex. But and not even just that, but all the stuff that I've learned from you, I've like you said, you like that I care and don't care at the same time. And I've always been like that to an extent, but it's some things that I care about too much. And I feel like from being friends with you, I've learned how to care for people, but also not to the point that it's affecting me. And I feel like I wouldn't have gotten there if it wasn't for you. Maybe it would have took me a long, like I would have been a lot older, but I feel like I wouldn't have gotten there if it wasn't for you. Like it's like it fits. Like you kind of like the second half of me. Like we always say we share our souls or whatever, but that's really how I feel. Like, oh, she my other half for real. And like I said, we've never met in real life. Like we've never met before. And maybe we have, because I be feeling like I've been around you before. Like I've seen you before. Like we've spent time together before. Like I really feel like that.
Look, we
And
have just not in this
in
life.
this
That's
life,
all.
right?
It just wasn't
It's
in this human life. That's all it was. And I
like we
feel like I
basically kindred
understand because
spirits.
of other stuff. Like a lot of like I used to get that a lot. Like you what was it? Uh, wise or like experience, and I'm like it's mostly from personal experience. Like
Right,
I have dealt, I still deal with having to over explain. I have to simplify stuff because I need to understand it. Like when people are talking to me, I'm like, look, I'm not dumb, but I need you to explain it to me Barney style so I can get every bit of details to actually form an opinion. Like it's hard for me to form an opinion on something I don't know about. If I don't know the details
right.
of it, I'm just sitting there like, Okay, what do you want me to do about that? Like what am I supposed to say about that? But if I know this side, that side, and the middle, then I'm like, all right, now I can say something about it. I have to get stuff Barney style. I have to explain stuff Barney style because I don't like being misunderstood. And I don't like not
Me
understanding.
neither.
I
Me
hate
neither.
confusion. I hate being
Same.
confused. So I have to do that. And I've had that a lot. People say I understand them. And I'm like, it's not me really understanding you. It's just that I don't like to be confused. I need to know.
Nah, you really do be understanding because I still be talking in cursive. I still be saying talking like an alien and stuff, and
Talking
you
in
be getting
person.
it. And you be getting it. So, and I feel like I'm one of the hardest people to who's my especially my mind for you to like get it. Because some people just be like, I like your mind, but they don't get it a lot. They don't get a lot of the times whenever I'm like it's when I'm talking about something or in certain situations, like if somebody come ask me for advice and I give them some advice and they feel like it don't apply to what they asked me about, but it does. But I feel like you gotta sit and think about it a lot of the time, marinate for it to, you know, soak
You know
in.
what I think helps that for me is because I've said it before. Like I in the past, my mindset was basically like a man's. When you mansplain things to other men, they get it. You know how like we absolutely hate comparing ourselves to objects.
Yes.
But when you do that, they fully understand. I take that same concept and just apply it to everybody. And they get it. And a lot of times they feel like, oh, you understand exactly where I'm coming from. It's like,
Bro,
why
she
did I have to
definitely
do
be
that?
us that understanding men. Cause I just be giving up on them. Like, what is you talking about? And she just would come and be like, oh yeah, this is what it is or whatever. And they get it. It'd be funny to me.
You
It'd be
have
funny to me when it be happening, but she really be getting it.
you
She
have to take stuff and just like take a completely out of the out the way example and put it in their face and they'll
it's
understand
so weird.
exactly what
I
you're
be
talking about.
dying. I be
You be
dying
like,
every time it happens because the way because to me when she be saying certain things, I be like, bruh, look how she gotta say this for them to get it. It be so funny.
and then I have kids, so that also helps because we all know like you got to talk to a lot of them like their children and having kids. Like I'll talk to my son sometime, and then I have to realize like, yeah, he's a kid, but he's a very smart kid, and I could
Right.
say something and think he has no idea what I'm talking about, and he'll come
You
back and
do.
just be talking about it. And I'm like, yo, you too smart when I don't need you to be. Like when I'm trying to explain something to you, it's is gone.
It's
But when
gone.
I just say something out the way, he's like, "Oh yeah, you did this because of this," and I'm just like, "Why did you get that? Why was that the thing
First
that
of
you
all,
understood?"
that's little you, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I have to remember that too. But that's what I do. I mansplain things to a lot of
She
people. I
do.
learned that
I
they understand that better.
absolutely cannot mansplain things. I don't even get how to simplify things to that level. I literally like my brain don't even function to do that. I really can't.
I've been put in enough situations to know how to go about it. Like, you're not gonna get this, you're not gonna get that. If there have been very, very, very few, like very few that I haven't had to do that with. Like I could just say something and then they'll repeat it
Very
back
few
to
for
me in
me
a way that they
too.
understand it, and I'd be like, exactly, perfect. Like that's exactly what I was talking about. Or they automatically just know exactly what I'm saying, and I just thought maybe it's just me. Like I know how my brain processes things. It's not the same as everybody else's, but it is. That's why I'm so hard on like I know it's possible to have or like meet people like that, because I've
Right.
had people like that in the past, or other people, they're like, they don't exist. You have to do this, that, and the third. And it's like, no, you definitely have to mansplain things to a lot, but
You do.
there are definitely some,
You
people
do.
out
And
there
I've
that
never been able
completely
to do it.
understand. You ain't got to do that. But when you've had enough, my stepdad was one of those. He could talk himself in circles and still say absolutely nothing, and you just be like,
Oh,
you just ran
I
your mouth
know.
for nothing. So
I know.
I understand. Like, if he ain't teach me nothing else, he definitely taught me how to mansplain stuff to people.
Yeah, I know because same. But I just can't I just can't do it. Like and like you said, it's been very few men that I don't have to do that with. But some of them I just be giving up. I just be like, oh well, we just don't get it. We don't get each other. And I'm
Unfortunately,
okay
I'm
with
getting to
it.
that point. Unfortunately, I'm getting to that point because my brain be racking. Like, how do you not hear yourself and what you say? Like, they can say exactly what you're saying and still not get it, and you just be like,
Still not get it. I
what?
be giving up. I tried. All right, you don't get it. All right, let's move over.
It was
I ain't
like
got
that one
time.
guy. I made a comment on some guy's TikTok, and he replied with a whole video, and like 3 seconds into the video, I was just like, this is
I
absolutely
remember
pointless. I
that.
just replied and said, okay. Like,
I
you're
remember
not gonna
that
get it.
because they
You're not gonna get
don't, and it's like they don't be wanting to a lot of the times. But let's move on to the next segment, which is the story time segment. Do do you have a story of a moment when you realize like pretty much like what moment did you realize like oh we kindred spirits like we 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 were made to be friends or we were made to be in each other's lives or whatever.
that day. I got really, 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 really pissed off that that person was talking shit about you. It's the same thing that happened with my other best friend before she passed. I told y'all the story how we met and stuff, and how I knew she was mine forever when I was willing to beat the fuck out of this guy who was 150 pounds heavier than me over her. Like, I didn't care. We could go edit. I gave no fucks. And it wasn't like I was going in, but I thought I was calm. The whole time I thought I was calm until later on my husband was like, all right, so who ass we gotta beat? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I heard you in there yelling. And I was like, yelling? And he was like, yeah, I heard you in there like going off. And I was like, all right. I ain't think I was going off, but
I
maybe I
remember you
was.
told me that.
Like, so although we had been friends way before that, it's like that solidified it. And it was just like, yeah, that's your person. Because anybody, like, if it's not my child, you, all right. Like, you just feel the way you
Right,
feel. But that one
right.
specifically, I was like, you have absolutely no right to, like, everybody is entitled to their feelings, but in that moment I was like, hell no, you have absolutely no right to feel the way that you feel. Fuck your feelings.
No, but for
You ain't got
real,
no
she
right
did. She didn't.
at all. I was like, fuck your feelings. You have no right to feel the way you feel. I'm pissed. And then for me to try to help, and
Still, and I feel like
yeah,
that too. Like you trying to like still be for her in that situation was also other people probably won't see it like that, but to me, an extension of our friendship because I told you I was like I still want you to do that. Even though I got issues with her, I still want you to be there for her. To me, that was an extension of our friendship too.
I knew it was because, like you said you wanted us to be there. You wanted us to still be friends. You wanted us to look out, because they needed us. And I was like, all right, cool. And I'm just listening to her just drag you. And I'm just like, you so lucky. She asked me to do this. And like at one point I'm trying to like reason with her and she was like, I knew you would get it. I knew you would understand. I said, hold up, pump your brakes. No, I don't. I'm actually just trying to be calm and see what the problem is so we can fix it and find a solution. But don't think that I'm sitting here on your side because I'm not. I just
Nah, I knew
want
you
this
would
to
get
be
it.
right, because she was like, I knew you would get it. You the only person who ever asked me, like, am I okay? You know me, you know the
What?
feeling, the energy. And I was like, first of all, that's not what I'm in here for. I'm not on your side. I am just trying to get this resolved. I'm trying to help. But don't think that I'm in here just like taking up for you and I'm on your side. And
Right.
that's when India was like, yeah, Van said a lot. Like she didn't leave no room for any misinterpretation, like nothing. It's like, because I don't want you thinking like, oh, she was the only one that had my back. No, I don't. I really don't right
It
now.
was
I don't.
it definitely was not a back to have. She was really just having a temper tantrum for no reason.
And then had the nerve to be in my likes within the past month. I was like,
Ooh,
block.
she popped up on something. Was that Tumblr? You know how sometimes Tumblr, I don't know if you still like get the notifications, they'll tell you when the person is posting.
Yeah,
What's that do? It was someone, one of those social media sites. And I was like, why is she pop that was Instagram. Why is she popping up on my stuff? But then I remember that I did I block her I didn't block her from everything. I don't think, but yes I did, because I wasn't seeing nothing. And then recently I saw her.
it's
I don't know.
because she had us
Oh,
blocked on certain things. So if they block you first, you can't block them. Then when they unblock you,
that's what
then
it
you start getting
was.
notifications. Because I know for a fact I was
That's
blocked
what it
because I even
was.
searched and couldn't find nothing. So I was like, all right, cool, I'm blocked. And then all of a sudden, notifications start coming in. I was
That's what it
like,
was. That was the
block.
same thing with my ex too. Because remember, I thought I blocked him, but he actually blocked me, and then he popped up, and I was like, "Yeah, let me get you on up out here."
That's how they be. But that definitely was the moment that solidified, like, yeah, we was already cool before, we already was close before, but that just really solidified it for me. Like, yes, this is my other person and they're going nowhere. And I will do whatever it takes for this one because I'm willing to take a drive if I have to.
I was willing to take a flight. I had to chill out, bro. But for me, honestly, I be having those moments all the time. Like all the time we be talking, I'd be like, bruh, this is my person. Like this my soulmate. Like every time. Like even now, let's have this conversation. But it's just like whenever we have those moments where our like brain, our soul just be like working together and we just be on point, like especially in those moments. I'm like, I love her. Like this really my friend for real. Like this my person for real. But the wealthy health segment. What is something you need more of from your friend?
Like, what am I not getting? It's like,
Honestly, for me, it's just to see you. Like we need to make that happen.
yeah,
That's
like
all I
obviously
need.
we need to have that happen, but it's like even then we need to see each other obviously at some point, but it's like even then we're not the type of people that's like, I need you here every
Yeah,
day,
yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
day, all the time. Like my other best friend lives 10 minutes away from me and I think I see her like once every 4 months. So it's like it's not a
Right.
need for us. So I'm like, what am I not getting? I get to talk to you every day. Even if I don't talk to you every day, you're still there. I get to
There.
see everything
That's
that's going on. Like
also
we
interesting too.
right, like voice messages, text messages, every social media platform, Zoom.
all my pages, because I got 4
Right,
different platforms.
right.
Everything, like, one thing we gonna do is communicate. Even if we don't say nothing to each other, but we send videos, we still communicating. That's a
Exactly.
communication. That's
Like
one
that's
thing we gonna do.
I'm still waiting to get of course I want to lose all my weight first, but still I'm still waiting to get piercings and tattoos and stuff
Tattoos,
together,
yeah.
waiting on the time we get to spend together and go to wherever it is we plan on going, whether
We
it's
go
an amusement park or
we gonna go to Japan. We
museum.
gotta go to Japan together. We gotta go.
Yeah, my other friend went and she was telling me it was the best thing that she ever did when she went. I think she still be posting pictures about when she was
We
there because
gotta
she was there
go,
for like a
bro.
year.
We got
We need to
really?
go.
She was there for a year? I
Yeah,
wanna
it was
stay that
either
long.
I do believe because she was living there on a job because she was teaching English to like the little kids.
Mm.
But I want to say she was there for like a year.
Dang, I wanna stay that long.
I
But
don't know if
yeah,
I
I
could
can't
ever stay
wait.
that long, but I definitely want to go.
Yeah, I want to stay. Can I stay in Japan for a year? I probably could. It depends on how I like it, but I definitely want to experience that with you. It's a lot of stuff that I want to experience specifically with you.
I
Um,
want us to be able to
like for
go on a
instance,
cruise, but I don't know if you would be able to handle it. I want to do more
I
research on it.
I think I would be able to do a cruise. I don't think I got no seasickness or whatever.
It's the way the air can be sometimes that it can
Oh,
cause
okay,
damage for those who suffer from like anemia or sickle
oh
cell
I
because of
got
the
you.
way the air pressure can be sometimes depending on where you're going. And I wanted to do more research into that because that was something I did not know until somebody was talking about they had traveled into the mountains and another person was talking about they had went on a cruise and because of how the air was in a specific place it affected them negatively and they had no idea what was wrong until they mentioned that
Like
they had
physically.
anemia. Yeah, like their health
Dang, they ain't
overall
never
like
say nothing about no
deteriorated.
cruise.
Yet
They tell
some
us that
places, I think it just
high
depends on where you go.
altitudes, like it's supposed to be like high altitudes that you're not supposed to do, but they don't. You know what? And that's what I really hate about the research on sickle cell. You don't know. You have to experience it in order to find out. Like
Yeah,
we don't. They don't
unfortunately.
do no updates or whatever about the things that we need to be aware of.
That's why I'm glad the
Unless we
doctor,
talking to each other.
right. That's why I'm glad that the doctor that I have for my kids now, she put Ciel on some kind of medication to like help with his
It's iron.
hemoglobin just
It's
to see like how he does as he grows because she was like some people because I was talking about you and she was like some people don't experience symptoms until like their middle school age and she was like he's already this age so we want to just start now and just track him
he
as
got
he
sickle
goes.
cell trait.
Yep.
That's
And she
good
was
though because you have a
explaining
lot of doctors that they ignore it.
exactly. And she was when I was telling her about it, I was like, yeah, we all had a sickle cell trait. And she was like, just because you have the trait doesn't mean that you are exempt from experiencing a crisis and stuff like that. And she just went like into
That's what
details, the
I've been
different
telling you.
kinds, everything. And I was like, my best friend has been telling me all of that for the longest. She was like, it's good that you have friends like that. And I was like, and I'm glad that I found a doctor like you.
Right, because doctors ignore it a lot. And it to me it's dangerous because a lot of the times y'all might think that it's just something that's not related to sickle cell and it is related. And because people have died just like randomly, like for whatever reason, like overexertion or something like that, just because the doctors don't put enough care into people with sickle cell trait. I hate that, but that's a topic for another day. That's another topic we need to do um for podcasts. But to move on to the next segment, the what would you do segment, of course, we don't have any questions yet. But if y'all have any questions or y'all want advice, don't forget to email us at socialpsychopod@gmail.com. It is always in the description. And also, I think you can send messages through YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, like
I can have a look and see.
DMs or whatever. I think you can. And also, you could put the questions under our videos, but if it's something that you want to remain anonymous, just go to our email and also specify that you want to remain anonymous. I'm not gonna call your name anyway, even if you say you don't. It's gonna be anonymous, but still, let us know. Yeah, like I said, email us, put it in the comments, or you can inbox us on. I think we're on Instagram and TikTok. You can send us
Mm-hmm.
questions through TikTok and Instagram, and I'll also answer them on the show. Uh, so the next segment is the Black Life segment. And the question for this segment is there something that terrifies you about our friendship?
The only thing that terrifies me is the fact of our health, like my mental health, your physical health. And obviously we don't know what the future holds, but it's like we do actually have to prepare for, like, just with my other friend that
Anything.
passed away, we do have to prepare ourselves for this is going to happen to one of us one day. And that is the only thing that terrifies me, is having to either go through that again or put you through that.
Yeah. Same with me because because of our connection, that is something that terrifies. But I feel like, and not even to say it like that, like you'll be fine without me. I ain't want to say that, but you know what I mean. Like I want us to develop a connection where it's like that. And I feel like we will, because I feel like even though we've never met in person, like we connect spiritually. So even in moments where I'm not talking to you or you're not around, like maybe you taking a break or whatever, and you working on yourself, I still feel your presence. Like it's still there. And I feel like of course we would have to work on that spiritually. If something do happens, I don't have a doubt that I still will feel your presence. Like I don't doubt it, or vice versa. But yeah, that's the only thing that terrifies me as well. Like especially when it comes to like you said, our health, like my physical health, your mental health. I think about this a lot because especially now that I've created a few relationships that I feel like the connection is very strong. Like, dang, I don't want nothing to happen to me and them having to deal with it or whatever. So of course I think about it, and there are things that I feel like I am going to do, I want to do to prepare for that. But I those are things that I have to work out with myself too.
I can't wait for us to meet in person. That way you'll actually have a relationship with the kids, so they can stop just being like, oh, that's
Same,
Auntie Boonie. Like, y'all just don't know. It's
same.
like, for one, she has been around your entire life. For the other one, she has been around since you was one, and y'all
Right.
have no idea that she been here that long.
Right. I can't wait to meet them either. I can't wait to build my own relationship with them too. And then with everything that I'm trying to do in my career, I can't wait to just experience stuff with you. And not just you, the kids, and Mondo too. Like Mondo too. Like I can't wait until I'm able to have those share that with you basically. Whatever happens with me wherever I go, I can't wait to share those experiences with you. So that's something that I'm looking forward to as
Right.
time
It's
goes on.
extremely hard, especially as a parent. It's extremely hard to find somebody you can actually say, like, this is my best friend through me having kids and before, like with my other
Right.
friends, like they've been here since college and they still here. They got to see my kids grow up. They get to have a
Right.
relationship with them. They get to see everything that I've been through. They get to enjoy the same,
Yeah.
accomplishments that me or my kids go through. Like it's good. It feels good to be able to say that, to be able to have that, because I really just be sitting here like, damn, they've been here since my
Yep.
son was one, like when he was in his bad butt stage. Like they really been here since then. Like he's playing, sports now. He's a student athlete
Soccer at
now.
that, like
Right. And you
soccer.
get to it's like you get to experience that with us. And like even with my sister, I get to experience her child growing up, and it's like we didn't go to the same college, but we hung out at the same
Right.
college all the time. And it's like to go from that to this, to go
Yeah.
from new friends in my kids' childhood to you watching them grow up. It's like it's an amazing feeling
And
to
I
have
love it.
like
And I can't
you
wait to see
still
them
there.
in person.
Yeah.
And
That was she just came over
if
here and
I
said, Boonie.
have some of my own, maybe chances are, if I have my own, it'll be the same way. I feel
Y'all get
like
to sit here and send all the clothes, all the
I
stuff. You be like, look, this was your cousin's, this was his. You get to have this now.
I feel like how old I am. I'm about to be 33. I feel like if it don't happen in the next 2 years, whoever I'm end up with short, like you better get me in the next 2 years, bro.
Ad- Adoption can come too.
Oh yeah, that as well. I'm open to adoption. I think that's something that I should actually start planning. Cause I remember telling I think you that I wanted to do that,
Hmm.
but I kind of just forgot about it. So that's something that I need to start planning because I am getting older. Yeah, so I
I'm
don't know the
very rich
possibilities of me
auntie.
having kids. So yeah, I definitely need to start looking into that and planning. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having all of those experiences with you and your kids, your family. Um,
Something just popped in
because
my head. I'm gonna be messing with you when we get off of here.
all right. But thank y'all for watching this episode and thank you, Van, for doing this with me. I thought that it would be
Yes.
cool to have this conversation with just the two of us. And next time we're probably gonna do it with Royal as well. Because I feel like, yeah, I feel like that relationship is special as well. But
Yeah, definitely.
thank y'all for watching. We're going to see y'all in the next video. Bye.